Welcome, young men. We're so proud and honored to have 2013 Boys State here on the campus of Mississippi State University. I can tell you that we have been looking forward to this day for several months, planning for it, working with your leadership here and making all the perfect arrangements for you to arrive here on this campus and have a wonderful time here during this coming week. I want to congratulate each and every one of you. As Mr. Shan said a while ago, this is an honor. It's a huge honor to be selected to be part of Boys State. You know, I went back and I looked at my high school annual to remind myself who from my high school, or Corinth High School, were selected to come and participate in Boys State when I was your age. I did not get selected, okay? But I went back and I looked at it, and there were 4 young men from my high school. 2 of them today are medical physicians, accomplished medical doctors. One came back to our hometown and is leading a wonderful practice in Corinth. The other young boy who went on to become a leading banker, financial leader here in our state. The other young man went on and has spent his life in public service, elective office, serving our home county, Alcorn County. That gives you the caliber of the individuals that you are reflective of. Again, as I mentioned, when I was your age, I didn't have the passion or the drive that all of you here today have. I wish I had. I was more consumed with a lot of other things going on in my life. I was big into athletics. Well, athletics and leadership and scholarship can go hand in hand. But I wasn't smart enough to realize that. In fact, I went on, as Neil mentioned, and I left Corinth High School, and I went to Northeast Mississippi. It was a junior college when I went there, but community college today in Boonville. Yes, I played football there and had a good time at Northeast. And when I was in high school, I was really just a mediocre academic student, and I carried those habits with me to junior college. And I didn't really do that well in school. I'm not proud of that fact. It's just a fact. And to give you some reflection on what, not anything against playing football at a junior college, but we had a meeting not too long ago with all the presidents of the Southeastern Conference. We meet periodically. In fact, I'm going to Florida next week for our annual convention for the Southeastern Conference. But about a year ago, we invited Mark Emmert, who's the president of the NCAA, to come speak with the 14 presidents. And we were talking about athletics. We got to talking about college football, and he started talking about junior college football. And he said, you know, there are only 3 reasons why a young man would choose to play football at a junior college. Well, not only being the only president who attended a community college and the only president who played football at a community college, my ears perked up. Okay, what are the 3 reasons? He said lack of grades, lack of character, or lack of talent. Well, I took offense to that because none of those 3 applied to me. But unfortunately, probably all 3 applied to me when I was at Northeast. But I transferred here to Mississippi State University after 2 years at Northeast. And I'll tell you, thank God I did. Because this university turned my life around. It got me on track. It got me focused. And it was the faculty members here who took an interest in me and my life that set me on a proper course. I went from being a mediocre student to becoming an all-A's honor student here at Mississippi State. That's how this university turned my life around. Not only did it help me get on the right track, it got me pointed in the right direction, and that led me to getting a full ride scholarship for an assistantship for my master's program. That led to me getting a job here at Mississippi State while I went on to earn my doctorate degree. My goodness. When I was sitting where you are today, there's no way anyone could have ever told me that someday I would have a PhD. Because I didn't see that in myself. And I hope you never sell yourself short. You can do whatever you set your mind to. And I mean whatever you set your mind to. Now, you had to change some habits. I had to do some things I had not done before when I got here at Mississippi State, I had to go to class. I had a bad habit of cutting classes, just skipping out. I had a bad habit of not taking notes, not studying. Well, no wonder I didn't have good grades. But when I changed my habits here, my whole life turned around. You are so much further ahead of me when I was your age, it's not even funny. You have so much potential ahead of you, and that's what we want for each and every one of you. You know, I think about your generation. Most of y'all are what, 16, 17 years of age? I've got socks in my drawer at home older than you, okay? Your life, your generation, my goodness, I think about all the things that you've grown up with that you take for granted. You know, I can remember very vividly the first time I saw someone doing something just outside the steps of the U.S. Capitol. He was standing on the corner. He was a friend of mine. This was in 1993, 20 years ago, something I'd never seen before. He was talking on a wireless telephone. Think about that. I'd never seen that before. I was amazed. I walked over to him. Now, it wasn't the same kind of phones that you and I use every day. It looked like one of those old World War II walkie-talkies. Had a big, long antenna sticking out of it, but nonetheless, there he was standing out on the side of the street on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. Think about all the changes that we've seen in just that one technology alone. And every one of you probably here today have your own cell phone, iPhone, smartphone. And I think about the technology that you have in your hand and carry around in your pocket. And Mr. Shanzer said, silence your phones. You've grown up in that world. The ability to calculate, to communicate, the wealth of knowledge at your fingertips is mind-boggling. Well, it wasn't that way when I was your age. I didn't see my first desktop computer until I was in graduate school. We didn't have computers. And when we had that first computer, we didn't have any software. We had to write our own programs. Had to learn basic computer language. Had to learn Fortran computer language just to work on this newfangled technological device called a computer. Well, good gosh, can you imagine your lives today without your laptop and access to a computer, access to the internet? Think about how that one technology has changed our entire planet. That's your world, young men, that you've grown up in. I've had to adapt to your world. Well, let me just tell you something. Your generation is living in a time where technology is changing so rapidly. Think about the next 20 years of technological changes that you're going to get to see and witness. Your ability to continue to stay on top of the technological advancements, your ability to be successful in life is going to be a function of your education and your commitment to excellence in education and getting the best possible education that you can possibly obtain to help prepare you to be the young man that you want to be, that you dream of being someday, that your family are counting on you to become. And the families that you're going to have will be looking to provide for them. Work hard, young men. Continue to have this drive and this focus, this commitment. But also never forget about doing what this is about, learning about service. You're going to spend the whole week learning about government, state government. It's important. I went on from my time at Mississippi State, as was mentioned in my introduction, and was invited to go to work for Senator Thad Cochran. I went to Washington, D.C. with my wife, and we didn't know a soul. We didn't even know Senator Cochran, but I knew he invited me. He wanted me to come work with him on the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry to be a policy advisor for him. Well, I fell in love with that city, and I fell in love with the work. That led to me becoming his chief of staff. I did that for over a decade, working there in Washington, leading not only his offices, but overseeing the Committee on Agriculture, overseeing the Committee on Appropriations that funds all of our government, to being invited to go and serve our nation in the cabinet, the sub-cabinet of President George W. Bush as undersecretary, to be a diplomat on behalf of our country and going to countries all around the world and representing our government in negotiations for trade. Young men, I could never, ever, ever, ever imagine seeing myself doing any of these things when I was your age. And now here I am standing before you as the president of the largest, most comprehensive flagship research university in this state. I can promise you I never could imagine doing this. Your dreams are limitless. It's in your hands. Education, hard work, a commitment to excellence in everything you do, you can accomplish anything you want to in your life. And when I look at all of you, I know I'm looking at probably a future United States Senator, a future congressman. I'm probably looking at a future governor of our state, possibly even a future president of our nation, right here in this room. You have it within you to do that if that's what you want to do. But I want you to succeed in whatever you choose to do, be it become a doctor or a lawyer, an engineer, a teacher, a coach, business leader, an architect, a veterinarian. Be the best you can be. But never forget to give back in your community. You can be the best doctor, the best lawyer, the best engineer, but give back. Serve your community. That's what this week is about, to help you understand. And you're going to learn more about this as you continue to grow, and particularly when you go off to college, about the importance of service and giving back. Because let me tell you, we think about a lot of times of late, because this particular generation is getting older, the greatest generation. The greatest generation were those who survived the Great Depression. They went off to war in World War II, and they fought that war. They won that war and saved humanity as we know it today. We owe so much to that great generation, do we not? Do we not, Dan? These were, for the most part, young men like you, about your age, a little older, who were doing these things, sacrificing so much, and then came back after the war and built our country the way it is today. Your future, you're facing some huge challenges, young men. I think about where we are today. Last year, we crossed a major milestone on our planet, in that the 7 billionth person was born last year. We now have 7+ billion people that we share this planet with. By the year 2048, that's about 35 years from now, think about how old you're going to be in 35 years. Well, guess what I'll tell you? You'll be my age, okay? The world that you're going to see when you're my age is going to be a lot different than the world that I see today. Because we're not going to have 7 billion people. We're going to have 9 billion people living on the planet when you're my age. Now today, with 7 billion people, 1 billion people on our planet are malnourished. They're starving. 1 billion out of 7. In fact, every year, think about this, it's staggering. Every year, 2.5 million little children of the age 5 and under die. 2.5 million little children die for the most preventable cause in the world. Give them something to eat, and they won't die. Okay? That's today. That's your world. But when you're my age, there are going to be 2 billion. Our population is growing at a pace our world has never seen in the history of mankind. We're going to have 2 billion more people step up to the global dinner table. The challenges of feeding 2 billion more people is going to be daunting. Daunting. In fact, I was at a conference last week and one of the speakers said, do you realize all of the food that's been produced on our planet since we've had a planet that's been inhabited with human beings, we have to produce that same amount of food over the past 10,000 years over the next 30 years. That's the challenges that we're facing. That's the facts. That's the reality of your generation. We've got to provide housing for this many more people. Energy. Think about the energy demands of another 2 billion people. Education needs. Healthcare needs for this many more people on our planet. Young men, this is your world that you are about to inherit. Just like we relied on that greatest generation, I'm looking at you to be our next greatest generation of leaders. Young men, we're counting on you. We need you. That's why I'm so passionate about you staying focused, staying committed to excellence in your life, getting the best education you can possibly get, being committed to help serve your fellow man. That's what it's about. It's also about having a good time as well. It's not all hard work. Life is fun. I've got one of my little treasures here. My little daughter Tori is with me here today. Your family, you're going to find out, is so important. Have fun with your life. Have fun with your families as you grow older. But we're counting on you, young men. We're very proud of you. I want you to have a great week on our campus. I can't tell you all the hard work that our team, and there's several of our staff here. We're so excited that you're here on our campus, but more importantly, we're so excited to have you here to be part of Boy State. I want to wish all of you all the very best as you go forward. And as you decide, as some of you are going to be making decisions in the coming year about where you're going to go off to college, I want you to go and visit as many schools as you and your family can afford for you to go and visit. But I do hope you'll come and visit us here at Mississippi State and learn about the programs that we have to offer here at Mississippi State. And let me make this commitment to each and every one of you because I'm so proud of you. When you do decide to come and visit Mississippi State, I want you to call my office before you plan to come and let my staff know you're coming and ask if I'm going to be here that day. And if I am, please come by my office because I want to shake your hand, and I also want to talk to you personally about what Mississippi State has to offer. That's my commitment to you. Good luck. Y'all have a great week. Most importantly, may God bless you. Thank you.